for an explanation. You got the message. Sebastian Loeb is in Albi. The quadruple World Rally champ is everywhere in the world of motorsports and an official entry in this weekend's round of the Porsche France Carrera Cup. I had the chance to race in the Porsche Cup and I jumped at it because I love trying new things, like racing in a Porsche and racing on a track, which is completely new for me. Just like racing in a... Loeb and Albi for the 80th anniversary of the circuit, but he's not the only world champion here. One of the rookies attracting plenty of attention is Fabien Barthez, world football champion in 1998. And when the two elite athletes got together, what do they talk about? Well, cars, obviously. It's the first time I've met Sebastian. We didn't have a long chat, but we did chat about the car and the weekend, and he seems like a good guy. Of course, one mustn't forget that there's a title up for grabs at the end of the season, and there are 4 in the hunt to get it, amongst them the championship leader Mike Parisi, who once again sent a strong message to his rivals. Well, in the last 2 meetings we've got 1 second place for 3 first, 3 pole positions and 3 lap records, so things are going pretty well. We're going to continue along with it here in qualifying, and if we can repeat our great performances of late in the 2 races, then that would be great. Frederic Makowiecki, a victim of tyre problems, couldn't set his best times in qualifying, 11th in the first session, unable to participate in the second. Well, now we really need to attack and attack hard. I won't risk crashing out, knowing that in the second race, if I don't climb up enough, I won't be scoring any points at all. So we'll see. At least it's possible to overtake at this circuit. We've seen it since the start of the season, and last year too. No one wins all throughout the year. Each race has a different winner and different people in the top 3. It shows that the competition is fierce in the Cup. There are no real favourites, and everyone has a chance today. Frederic Gabion and Mike Parisi share the front row of the grid for race number 1, followed by Renaud Derlot and Morgan Moulin-Trafort. On board with Sebastian Loeb, who is in the number 2000 and starts from the 6th row of the grid. And straight away, Frederic Gabion reveals his colours. The track is dry, but the skies are menacing. But at the end of the straight, it's Parisi that gets the lead back. Gabion, despite holding the inside, can't do anything to resist. An intense first lap with cars changing positions at each turn. Anthony Beltoise leaves Gabion standing. 2 places dropped by the Parisian. As they cross the start-finish line for the first time, it's Parisi from Beltoise, Gabion and Derlot. Wetter and wetter, Arturo Devigus cuts a few pretty figures. That was quite a let-off for all those involved. Mike Parisi controls the race from the front and even takes a few tenths of a second out of his rivals each lap, thanks largely to the Beltoise-Gabion battle for second place. On the other hand, things aren't going so well for Fabien Barthez. The former France keeper eats some grass after touching Devigus. Gabion reminds us that a few laps ago, Beltoise had taken his second place. Here, he takes it back. Barthez into the pits. There go his chances of a good finish. And he rejoins several laps down. Sebastian Loeb, without the navigator Daniel Elena beside him, is pushing to the limit. Perhaps a little too much. Bringing the curtain down on an incredible run through the field. Worthy of a world champion. I made a mistake, a pretty stupid one at that. But it was a great run through the field. Let me get a lot of experience in overtaking cars because I overtook a fair few. Otherwise, I had great fun, really enjoyed myself. There was a great fight, everyone in the same car, really sportsmanlike. Very, very good. Less sporting perhaps at the front. Beltoise gets a little too close to Parisi, and that means a visit to the gravel trap. As for Loeb, his WRC reflexes serve him well as he avoids a car facing in the wrong direction. His expertise and Barthez's inexperience mean there's a world between the 2 champs, as Loeb puts a lap on his new mate. Frédéric Makowiecki sees his weekend turn quickly into a nightmare. Mako retires 6 laps from the end. The last third of the race is the scene of plenty of twists and turns. First up, Beltoise has to cede his place to Moulin-Trafort and Dello after heading off. But furious with his mistake, he manages to get one of those 2 places back. Parisi takes the checkered flag, but is retrograded for dangerous driving afterwards, meaning that Frédéric Gabillon earns his first win of the season and a first for the Almaris Pro GT team.
Well, we've
been waiting for this moment for a long time. We've shown in qualifying that we have the pace. That was our second pole position. 5th time on the front row, but we've struggled to make it count. We've had a lot of problems, but I'm really happy for the whole team, my sponsors who haven't seen me on TV for a long time. I think they'll enjoy that. In the amateur standings as well, as we see there, the professionals, Frédéric Gabillon leading the way from Morgan Moulin-Trafort. While for the amateur standings, it's Philippe Gaillard who took out his 6th win of the season, extending his lead at the top. Loeb, Barthez, Act 2, having found each other face-to-face in race 1. Here they are side by side. Sebastian Loeb takes Barthez for a little trip and a driving lesson of the accelerated kind.
Un tour de lancement, un tour complet et un tour où tu rentres.
Un peu chaud, freinage à un moment.
Well, mildly exhausted, Barthez tells us all about it.
Non.
Well, you mustn't eat too much before you do that, in fact. You're sitting next to a world champion. It's really hard to describe. Well, to do it for fun is all well and good, but in competition, that's even better, and Loeb tests it out in race number 2. This time it's not the skies that are tempestuous, it's the racing. After coming together, Loeb's rear left explodes. 2 laps and that's it. Take a good look because it's Loeb's last moments on the racetrack here. When will we see it again? The race continues, however. Mike Parisi still leading the way and as motivated as ever. Behind Beltoise, who made an incredible start, is lapping just ahead of Gabillon. Kevin Estre is leading the chasing pack, but too far back to hope for anything more than a few championship points. He still climbs another place when Renaud Dello enjoys the pleasure of a trip through the gravel trap. Loeb is out, pit lane is beckoning, and time for the debrief with the engineer and the mechanics. 4 cars for 3 podium places. Who's going to miss out? Who'll be watching the champagne flow from pit lane? Morgan Moulin-Trafort currently in 4th, doesn't want to be that man, and he ups the rhythm. Catching Gabillon still out in front. Mike Parisi is lapping comfortably. He has 1.5 seconds up his sleeve over Beltoise. But all throughout the field, the battle is raging, even between the pros and the amateurs. Dello gets the better of Rosenzweig, but he's forced to retire just a few moments later. Jean-Philippe Vouillon leads the amateur category comfortably ahead of Henry Hassid. A nice and calm finish to the weekend, not likely. Est gets by Barthez, but perhaps the goalkeeper still has flashes of his lap with Loeb. A tough move, late on the brakes, no way through. Whatever the reason, the 2 end up in the gravel, and they're not moving. Well, it's frustrating. I really feel for the driver that I hit. As for me, I got it all backwards. I was getting ahead of myself, and I guess that's all part of the learning curve. A very humble reaction from a true champ starting from zero in this new sport. As for Kevin Est, he sees some precious championship points go up in gravel. No more change in this second race at Albi. Parisi leads from Beltoise, cruising in second. Morgan Moulin-Trafort gets the nod for third place, meaning the answer to our early question is Gabillon is the man that misses out this time. Vuillon takes the amateur win after Rosenzweig slowed up and Gaillard retired. The joy in the Team AS Events camp is understandable because more than just the victory, Parisi is back on top of the overall standings.
Well,
I think we're back in front, which is a real confidence boost. I think we showed the others how fast we are, so I'm very happy. And there are the results then of that second race. Down in 9th place, Jean-Philippe Vuillon, the leader of the amateurs. Parisi getting a crucial win. The next round of the Porsche Carrera Cup comes from Valencia in Spain, without Sebastian Loeb, but with plenty of action all the same. We'll see you then.